What's cracking, people? Angelic Mayhem here. So, this week I downloaded Pinball Arcade, and this is a game that has a bunch of retro pinball machines in it, and then you can purchase any of the machines. Also, it comes with one free one. And while I was playing this, I happened to notice that they have one of the Elvira tables. Okay, they have Scared Stiff, which is, in my opinion, one of the greatest tables that there has ever been in all of pinball. Okay, when I was a kid, I used to go to Wildwood, New Jersey, and they had a big long boardwalk with all kinds of arcades, and wherever you went, this machine was there. And I would constantly play this game all over at all the different arcades, and people would gather around, and I'd just tear the machine in half, man. It was incredible. And so this is one of those games where I have played this game so many times that I would spot anything that was wrong, you know, in the way that they converted it for this game, okay, Arcade Pinball. And it's practically flawless, okay? The only thing that I found so far is that, and I've played, I don't know, maybe 20 games, 30 games of this. The only thing that I've noticed is that at one point there was a ball that was on my flipper during a multi-ball, and one of the other balls came in, and somehow as I hit the paddle, it went through the paddle and, you know, went into the gutter. So, I mean, that's just like this one thing, and it was 1,000,000 to 1 shot. It only happened to me once, so, you know, but other than that, this table is absolutely perfect. The way that it flows, the way that everything bounces off of it, it works really well. Now, I will say that there is one audio clip that's missing. I don't know if it's actually an oversight by them or if they cut it out deliberately, but it was a little piece of double entendre that comes at the end of Scared Stiff. Basically, at the very end, when the balls are just about to launch, Elvira says, "I'll get it up." And I think that either one of two things happened there. Either the company cut it out on purpose because it was a little too heavy with the entendre, or it's just an audio file that's missing or something like that. But, yeah, other than that, the table's perfect. Now, so let me take you through this table. I think that everybody should play it. I seriously would, you know, if you were looking for a table and you said, you know, there's so many tables in here, I don't know which one to pick, I would highly recommend this one. For one simple reason, okay? Most pinball games are designed to get the ball into the gutter, okay? All of the targets are pointed so that when the ball leaves the flipper, hits the target, it usually is pointed at a gutter or at the middle, okay? So that you lose your ball. And so this is the sort of thing that, you know, you have to kind of judge each table by how often you end up dead, is really what it's all about. And this table is one of the very few tables that is not slanted in favor of the arcade, okay? It's really slanted in favor of the player. I don't know of any target on this whole machine that is deliberately targeted to the gutters. So I totally love this game. I think it's great. It's one of these games. It came out in 1997, which was at the tail end of the pinball craze. And among other things, it tells a story, okay? So a lot of the best games, you know, have like a story to them. So as you go along, the story gets bigger and better, and it encourages you to play longer and to play harder and to really focus because you want to get to the end of the story. In this case, the story is actually based on Elvira was the hostess of a science fiction program that would show shorts. Okay, they were like little mini movies that were, you know, sometimes they were funny, sometimes they were scary, and sometimes it was like, you know, just kind of goofy. But anyway, her big thing was that she would do double entendre, okay, and she wore these very slinky, sexy outfits, and, you know, like she was like a cult icon, all right? She was very camp. Well, anyway, these are basically shorts. You have 6 different tales of terror, quote unquote. And they correspond to different areas of the machine. And then after you assemble all 6 tails and you get them all done, then you have to do the stiffometer, all right? And the stiffometer, as you either shoot a ramp or you shoot the crate, the stiffometer will climb and climb and climb. Once it gets to 10, the very last thing you have to do is stick the ball into the crate, and then the entire machine loses its mind, okay? And just all the animations begin firing at once, all the audio starts going at the same time, and it's as if you broke the machine, and then the announcer comes on, he's like, "Scared Stiff," and then it's just on, man. It's just jackpot after jackpot, and your score just goes through the roof. So if you can do this once, it's just such a blast, and it's a huge thing. If you can do it twice, you're one of the great pinball people, you know, at least in my opinion. I think that you would be one of the great pinball people of all time. twice in one game is incredibly difficult. Usually you're going to score somewhere in the range of 80 to 90 million if you do it twice in one game. So far, out of, again, 20 to 30 game plays, I've only been able to do it once. So, that's how kind of difficult it is to do. I'm going to take you through the 6 Tales of Terror. The first one's the Deadheads, okay? At the top of the screen, you're going to see there's 3 lights. When you run the ball up into that area, and there's multiple ways to get it up there, you can also go through the extra ball, like the little path that's right there, or you can go around through what will eventually be the stiffs in the coffin. When that coffin isn't activated, you can sneak up that way and go for the heads. All you have to do is get 3 heads, and then boom, you're ready to go. Each one gives you 25,000 more than the one previous, and the first one starts at 25,000. After that is Terror from the Crate. Terror from the Crate is basically just bang into the box, and then eventually it will unlock, and when you throw the ball in there, it'll give you a multi-ball. Monsters Lab is in the upper right-hand corner. There's a bunch of bumpers, and if you get the ball in there, you have to hit 20 bumpers. Real simple, okay? After you hit 20 bumpers, the value of the bumpers doubles, okay? Every time you get 20 bumpers, the score doubles, okay? So that can actually become a pretty good place to grab some good cash. Bony Beast is the ramp on the left. All you have to do is run it, I think it's like 3 times or 4 times or something like that, and you get the Bony Beast. Which is actually pretty simple because of all the games that I've ever played, this is one of the best in terms of ramps. You can run ramps over and over and over again. The ramp on the right is the spider ramp, and if you run that 8 times, it starts the extra ball. If you run it 30 times, it also runs the extra ball, and then it gives you all kinds of bonus stuff and things like that. I can run that ramp maybe 90, 100 times in a row without ever stopping, just one after another after another. So it's incredibly easy, and it's really cool. It's lots of fun. I'm going to skip Stiffen the Coffin for a second. Leapers is basically the targets. Okay, there are, I think it's 5 targets on the board, and each one has a leaper above it. When you hit the target, the leaper jumps up in the air. And then when the leaper is, when the story is in motion, as you hit the leapers, I think each one's worth like 10 grand or something like that. And then finally, Stiffen the Coffin. That's the one that's kind of tricky. What you have to do is you have to run the Bony Beast. I think it's like 2 or 3 times. And then just to the left of the Bony Beast, you're going to see there's like a little light on the board that flashes green. And that lets you know that the Stiffen the Coffin, the lock, is available. You throw the ball up there, it'll lock it. On the 3rd one, you get a multi-ball, and then you get Stiffen the Coffin. And all you have to do during Stiffen the Coffin is get one of the balls into the crate. And if you do that, then there's a jackpot, and you get Stiffen the Coffin. Again, you have to get all 6, and then that will be, the time when you do the Stiffometer. And now remember, one of the most important things to keep in mind is that when you're doing the Stiffometer, if you fail, okay, if you get all the way to 10, and you fail to get the ball in the thing, and you lose the ball, then that's it, okay? It resets the entire game, and then you got to start again. So at that point, the pressure's really on, and they have like the heartbeat going in the background and stuff like that. So, but at that point, you got to be focused. So, I mean, that's basically it. There's a bunch of other ways where you can score lots of points. There's fenders and things like that. I would tell you that, and this is sort of like a pro tip, if you will, when you first launch the ball into the game, okay, if you do it in just the right way, there's a skill shot that will give you, the first time that you get it, 250,000 points, okay? Then the next time that you get that same one, it's an additional 250,000 points, so it would be 500,000. Keep going, okay? Every time you get it, it goes another 250,000. So if you can get it like 8, 9, 10 times, that's 2.5 million points every time you get it. And every time you lock a ball, you get to launch one again out of the loop. So theoretically, if you keep doing Stiffen the Coffin over and over again, and you're really good, you can get that multiplier up to like 3 million, 4 million, 5 million. That's really how you're going to just obliterate the top score in this particular game. And it's very simple. All you have to do is when you hit the space, well, in this case, you're hitting the space bar, but when you hit the space bar, you just kind of go 1/1000 and then launch it. And that will usually put you in the right area, and then as you play the game, you'll kind of get it. But that's the best part of the game, I think, in terms of getting a high score, is making sure that you get that multiplier as high as possible. Finally, the last thing that I want to tell you about is the spinning spider. which is actually very unique. First of all, it was the first time that it was ever done was in this game, and that was in 1997, so it was pretty revolutionary at the time. And basically, it is a spider that is mounted to the backboard. What you have to do is you have to actually light up the spider, and then you'll see next to the spider ramp, there's a little triangle. When it blinks, that means that the spider is ready to go. When you get the ball in the hole, then the spider, mini game will launch. Basically, the spider spins in a circle, and when you hit the left bumper, it will stop the spider, and then you will receive something. Okay, now what you get out of it can be a bunch of different things. There's double trouble, which increases all the scores. There's also deadheads on that board, so if you have, let's say, 2 deadheads already unlocked, the third one will give you the deadhead, okay, the story that you need in order to get through to the rest of the game. So anyway, that's pretty much it. In a very basic nutshell. But this game is very complex, and it's very easy to play the game for a long, long time. I played a game earlier today. It took me 25 minutes to finish it off. And I was able to get to 80 million on my first ball just by getting, a replay ball over and over again. So I highly recommend this game. It comes with another game called Big Shot, which is a pool-based game that was actually invented, I think it was in 1950s, somewhere thereabouts. And that game is a quarter monster, so basically it was designed to rob you of your quarters. But it's fun to see like what the old games look like. So, it's cool that they're kind of, that package, which gives you 2 tables, bookends the entirety of pinball, like the heyday of pinball. So I thought that was really neat that they kind of gave us both. But the other one, Big Shot, I tried it a couple times and I was like, all right, this is okay. But this table is absolutely just one to have, and it's just so cool. There's a couple others in the set that, I'm thinking about getting, and then maybe I'll cover those as well. But thank you for watching this video, and if you enjoyed this video, please click the like button or subscribe to my YouTube channel for more content like this in the future. I'm Angelic Mayhem, and I will see you next time.